Morning, my name's Rex Johnston. I'm the chair of the State Selection Committee for 25-26, which is coming up. I've been chair for the last 3 years. This is the third year coming up. We've been working with a unified committee over that period with the men and the women selections. I have a great panel of 7 other members. We have three ladies, Pam Hocking, Jenny Palmer and Julie Bird. Make up the 3 girls, and in the guys we have Peter Foster, Trevor Emma, Greg Harris and Clay Parker. So a variety of country and metropolitan selectors. So we do get ourselves around to as many events as we can, which is good for you being able to showcase your abilities to selectors. Last year we had a very successful year for the state. The Mighty Blues, we performed exceptionally well in our lead-up events against Victoria and Queensland, winning both series in the Opens and the seniors. The under-25s struggled for action, which is unusual. With very, very strong under-25 sides, a little bit disappointing. And our over-40s were disappointing in regard to the results against Queensland. But from those games, we really get a chance to finalise our Australian sides championships, which are called the Nationals. From those lead-up events, we pick sides in the seniors and the Opens to play in the Nationals, which was a great success for New South Wales, winning both overall gold medals in the seniors and the Open, which is the first for New South Wales. We also took out the men's Open gold with an unbeaten run again, which is 2-3 years in a row we've been unbeaten. So we have a very strong Open side, both ladies and men. Our changes made each year, usually through retirements or unavailabilities. So it's not a closed shop. So everyone will have the opportunity to either break in or retain their spots going forward. We all know that at times just selecting the same sides over and over again, it doesn't work. It needs to be refreshed. There needs to be something changing just to keep it going for future years. So it's going to be an exciting 3 to 4 months now coming up when we do have selection trials at the end of June. Our lead-up pathway events are on in the first half of this year. Yes, well, every year we have annual EOIs come out for your availability, your expressions of interest to participate or be selected into the state sides. We have many pathway events which come up in the first half of this year, which is really the second half of last year, which will lead into the first half of next year, naturally. We have the pennant finals. The men and women's pennant finals are our first event of the ranks in March. So in March, we'll be having selectors at the Division 1 men's and women's pennants and also Division 2. We will have people there. State Championship finals, one of our main events. Very important that with your expression of interest, that if you've won a state championship, put that down. No doubt we would have seen you in the finals. We have all the selectors turn up for those finals, even though they'll be at 3 different venues this year, up in Ballina, Alstonville and Lennox Head. We will still get our selectors around. There's 8 of us, so we'll sort of gather ourselves up and get to see as many different events that we can. Champion clubs, club champions, that's what they finalise into the finals. They're all played in the metropolitan area, so we always have our metropolitan selectors to those. Our major pathway event, which is we have now a senior inter-regional championships. We have a ladies event, which is the inaugural ladies inter-regional championships back in action. They'll be played in conjunction with the men. So we have the men's open, the regional women's open, and then we have the seniors, which are a separate men's event. They'll be played at a different 3 days. They're all played down in Sydney. So we'll be down there having a look at those. With your EOIs, it's very important that you are selected and play in those events. As I said, it's the only time we get a chance to see them played under our selected formats, which is teams of 12, which is our state sides are mostly teams of 12 in the main events. So we need to see you perform in different positions that you would probably do if you were just in a club event or playing in the state championships. With the ladies' regional sides, they are a little bit restricted in regard that each zone requires to have, I think, 3 players, either 3 seniors or 3 under seniors, which is under 60 in their sides, so that we get a chance to see different ones from different areas. Very important for the ladies that they get recognised, and it gives the opportunity for our selectors, not the 7 or 8 of us, but also the guy selectors who don't get to see the ladies perform that often, especially in sides championships like this. Our state trials, out of that, the regionals, we will be selecting state trials, and that again is the final selection trial to be selected into a state series. We have trials for seniors, we have trials for open, we have trials for under 25s, and we have trials for over 40s in both the men and the women. The under 25s is a combined situation mostly. I hope to see everyone that is in our state sides play in the sides championships, so that they do get selected further into the state trials. Very important that you compete in the state trials. Not only gives yourself the chance, but also gives the selectors a chance to see you perform in strong competition and within your teammates that would be going forward into a state side. Open pennant finals, which is really the final event of the year, which is right on the end of June. We will be attending those. There's the platinum final at the same time, which will also be attended. Selectors will be there. Not everyone will be at all those events. Naturally, there's a lot of divisions. And after that, we then select sides to play in our representative matches for the second half of the year, which is for the early 25, 26 year. We play Queensland in September. We play Victoria in August. So we have Victoria's first, and then the Nationals in November. So all this that we're coming up now in the next 6 to 8 months culminates into those games. Selectors for New South Wales versus Queensland, New South Wales versus Victoria, and the Nationals. The only events that we do not cover is the all abilities. We're not involved in the selection there. All the juniors, they have their own selections committees. Although each year we like to have the junior selectors to nominate 4 players for our state trial series, so that we do incorporate some under 18s that aren't seen in the regional championships, the regional sides championships. There's a lot taken into our selections in regard to for the state series. So we realise that the state is a series are all team events, teams of 12. Really, you start with a team of 4, which is your rink, and then you go to the team of 12. So it's very important that we have compatible sides. It's very difficult sometimes. We have a lot of individuals, a lot of individual players. They come from a lot of different clubs within the state. So they don't play with each other all the time. They do need to be able to fit in regard to where you're selected. And that's what we use the state trials for. A lot of times you may be put into uncomfortable positions, especially in regard to some people's what would I call it, perception on how they perform over and above someone else. So If you put selected as a lead, it doesn't mean you're the worst player in the side. It probably means you're the best player in the side, because that's where we start the whole sides of championships. It's always up the front. So a lot of times you might be a skipper in your club, and all of a sudden you're down playing second in a state side. And it's those guys that we look at, not girls, that we look at that can move from those positions without any animosity whatsoever. And they just get on with the game. And we find that's the best way. We just don't look on your ability. We look on how you look, how you conduct yourself on the green, how you conduct yourself with your teammates in regard to how you greet each other, how you're perceived in regard to your body language on the green, which is very, very important. How you intermix with your teammates in regard from the leads, the seconds, the thirds, and the skip. It's important that you are all moulded into the one team. First impressions are very important. Selectors will be there watching, and their first impression is what they see out there in front of them. And that's when you've got to really make sure that you're on your normal self and you're not trying to be someone that you aren't. So you just got to show your own, the way you conduct yourself is very important. The way you handle yourself after the game, the way you handle a win, the way you handle a loss, the way you handle a lucky bowl on the green, the way you handle scores. It's all taken into one. So just try and get out there, get on with the job, play your bowls, and you'll end up being a good team person. The EOI, on the EOI, you'll be asked to sign a code of conduct, a letter of code of conduct for all the players. There's ones for the opens and seniors, and there's also a junior one. So if you're under 18, you'll be asked to sign a different one, which is fair enough. But it's very important that you do understand the code of conduct. We have on occasions having to pull people into gear in regard to not adhering to that code of conduct. It's very important. It's quite sensible. It's not hard. It's nothing. It's just really just being a good person and think before you speak most of the time. Just think of the consequences. And it's all based around team performance, team harmony, compatibility, how you handle yourself in front of officials, how you handle yourself in front of players, especially the official part of it. You've got to remember that most officials are volunteers. They're out there to do their job, and they've been instructed on how to do that job. And we all should know what we should be doing, which is right and wrong. So make sure you read it.